This isn't a menu. It is 250 items to choose from. It weighs a couple pounds. This could be a weapon. There was Colonel Mustard in the dining room with the menu. This is called the paradox of choice. When you have too many choices, things will stall. And your customers get something that I call anxiety soup. What should I have? I don't know, blah, blah. People think everybody wants all these choices. Customers don't want as much choices as they want curation, to understand, to give things better look. When you go to the optometrist, they go, what looks better, 1 or 2? They don't go, what looks better, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They give you a binary choice, this or that. Not everything all at once. This works the same in the business world. If you have a product offering that's way too big, it's just going to cause anxiety and customers will get confused. Customer service, people will say, hey, it means giving the customer anything they want. Well, if you talk to a customer, they're going to say, I want it faster, better, cheaper. But guess what? This is called the iron triangle. You can have it fast and cheap, but not better. You can have it faster and better, but not cheaper. You can have it cheap and better, but not fast. Let me take a look. If you want it fast and better, you're buying a Ferrari. If you want it better and cheap, you're doing a home-cooked meal. If you want it cheap and fast, but not better, you're getting the 99-cent dual tacos at Jack in the Box. And I know people swear by those dual tacos. I'm not one of those people. But you see why the iron triangle works. I've seen it in many different times. You can have 2 of the 3, but you can't have 3 of the 3. And this will hold true, this iron triangle will hold true as you take a look at your business. There is an interior design company, and interior designers are notorious for showing you all these different things. And I was consulting with one. And what I helped them, and this was something that I've learned also from Simon Sinek, is that if you give too many choices, things are going to stall. They used to give these customers unlimited choices and patterns. What really saved it and what cut down the time, because before that, some of the customers would be there and be months before a decision is made. Oh, I got to look at this. I got to look at that. They would give them 2 to 3 choices at a time. Here are your 3 choices that we think are going to work. And if they said, I don't like this, I like these 2, is there something else I can see? They would take away 1 and put another one in. And that is a great way to do. If you give them too many choices, you're going to get brain fog. What looks best? If you say, hey, here is your menu, but if you don't want one, we can take one out. What one don't you want and put one in? Because if you do that, you're making them make choices little by little, not everything all at once. Everything all at once is confusing for customers. This also applies to software. Let's take a look at a CRM. There's many great CRMs out there. The problem is they have all these different features. I used to work at a company that used Salesforce.com. You know how many really features that we used in Salesforce? Only a handful. That's the point. People aren't going to learn all these different features. You can do a great thing with them. What they need is to help simplify the choices. They don't need a CRM that emails the customers, does a voice bot, and is an espresso machine all in one in this beautiful dashboard. Dashboards get too unwieldy. What you need to look at is what's really driving it and take that down to 3 or 4 things. And then that's where you have the experts come in below the surface and get the things adjusted. People don't want all these different knobs and whistles. You have to look at what's the outcome they want and how do I achieve that outcome better than the competition. So here's the rule. The more choices you offer, the less authority you have. Be the authority. You don't go to a brain surgeon and say, well, I'd probably like to do this on Tuesday. No, the brain surgeon will say these kind of operations on Wednesday. That is when they're done, unless there's something critical. By giving less choices, you become the authority in the room. And that's what customers want. They want to be guided, not have all the options. So remember the iron triangle: faster, better, cheaper. If you want, do menu engineering. Take a look at your product set. Take a look at the iron triangle: faster, better, cheaper, and see how they match up and make those offerings to your customers. You can have fast and cheap, but not better. You can have faster and better, but not cheap. You can have cheap and faster. You see how this is going. Menu engineer it, engineer the choices. Ideally, you want to give 2 choices. Make it binary, but I can also see a good, better, best theme. I've also used that with people. But good, better, best only works if you have an anchor pricing philosophy, and I'm going to cover that in another YouTube video. But the more choices you give, the more complex the decision and the longer it will take. Shorten your sales cycle by giving fewer choices. Put in the comments below Iron Triangle and I'll send you my menu engineering plan. I'm Brandon and this is SMB Growth Unlimited.